Hey there. If stories about love, betrayal, and devastating truths captivate you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our storytelling family. Let's begin. I never intended to hurt him. I know that sounds like an empty excuse, something people say when the damage is already done, but it's the truth. I didn't plan this. I didn't wake up one morning and think, today, I'm going to shatter the heart of the only man who ever loved me without conditions. And yet, here I am, sitting alone, haunted by how I broke him. We met when I wasn't even looking. I was in one of those I'm focusing on myself phases, the kind that usually dissolves in a haze of late nights and cheap tequila. But then came Jamie. Quiet, gentle, thoughtful. Nothing like the man I used to chase. He wasn't full of red flags or chaos. He listened. He noticed details. He made me feel seen in a way I didn't even know I was craving. Within a year, we moved in together. Everyone said it was reckless, too fast, but they didn't know him like I did. Jamie turned our tiny apartment into a sanctuary. He left silly notes in the fridge, warmed my socks in the dryer before cold mornings, cooked dinner after long days. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't loud. But he was steady. And I needed steady more than I ever admitted. The unraveling began so quietly I almost missed it. A project at work. A new client. His name was Ryan. Ryan was everything Jamie wasn't. Charming, bold, magnetic. He thrived on being the center of attention. We were paired on a 6-month campaign. And from the start, he made it clear he was interested. I laughed it off, made HR jokes, reminded him I had a boyfriend. He stepped back, or at least pretended to. What I didn't expect was how quickly I slipped into the game. Late-night brainstorming sessions turned into inside jokes. His shoulder brushing mine felt deliberate but deniable. It was dangerous. It was thrilling, and it made me feel alive in a way that terrified me. Jamie noticed. Of course he did. I came home later, laughed at texts I never showed him, started wearing lipstick again just because. He never confronted me. He just grew quieter. And somehow, that silence was worse than any fight. One night, I walked in to find dinner cold on the table. He had made my favorite, creamy pesto pasta with sun-dried tomatoes. I should have sat down and confessed everything. I should have stopped it there before it spiraled. Instead, I blamed work. I blamed stress. I blamed everything but myself. 2 weeks later, it happened. A business trip to Chicago. 2 nights became 3 after a canceled flight. Only one upgraded room was left with a view. Ryan booked it without asking. There was wine. Too much wine. I told myself it didn't matter, that it was just a mistake, that I still loved Jamie. But the truth was simpler, uglier. Part of me wanted it. Part of me craved being wanted. That part of me won. When I came home, Jamie wrapped me in his arms like nothing had changed. Like I hadn't crossed a line I could never uncross. That night, I cried in the shower, guilt searing into me like punishment. I tried to pull away from Ryan after that, but it was impossible. You can't unring a bell. Just once more, I promised myself. Then once more again, always behind closed doors, always followed by guilt, clinging to me like perfume. Jamie never accused me of anything, but deep down I think he knew. The collapse came on an ordinary Wednesday. I came home early to silence. No TV, no music, just the low hum of the fridge. On the coffee table sat a single envelope with my name in his handwriting. Inside was a 4-page letter. He knew, not everything, but enough. He had noticed the way my eyes lit up at texts I tried to hide. He had seen my smile falter when I looked at him. He had even heard me whisper Ryan's name in my sleep. There was no rage in his words. No accusations. Just quiet heartbreak. I loved you even when you stopped loving yourself. I tried to hold on even while you slipped away. I collapsed onto the floor, letter trembling in my hands, sobbing until I couldn't breathe. That night, I waited for him to come home. He never did. My calls went unanswered. My texts ignored. 2 days later, his sister messaged me. He was staying with her. He didn't want to see me. Didn't want to talk. I showed up anyway. She opened the door, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "You had gold, and you threw it away for glitter. Then she closed the door in my face. Weeks passed. Ryan tried reaching out, but by then I couldn't even look at him without disgust. It wasn't just guilt. It was a crushing realization that I had destroyed something real for something empty. I thought about writing Jamie a letter of my own, explaining, apologizing, begging. But what words could heal what I'd shattered? What could I say that wouldn't just rip the wound open wider? So I stayed silent. I still check his socials sometimes. He doesn't post much. But every once in a while, I see him smiling with friends, hiking, living. And I hope he's okay. I hope he found peace. I hope he found someone who will never betray him the way I did. Because he deserved better. He always did. People say time heals all wounds. Maybe, but some scars never fade. Healing just means learning how to live with the ache. I still keep his letter tucked away in a box, alongside the dried rose he gave me on our first date. And on the nights when the silence feels too heavy, I unfold those pages again, not to punish myself, but to remember what love felt like before I destroyed it.